Hey guys, this is bringing you another video and welcome back to another view of Spectate. Now today we are in the land of the free. We are in America, or watching North America at least. So this is Wahoo Vom. He is currently gold 3 on North America server, playing jungle and playing Lilia. Now Lilia is a champion that is very powerful and historically has always been kind of called, you know, a higher rating pick, a challenger jungle pick. That's a lot of people do kind of deem her that way. But what we're going to see is, like, this is above average ranking, again, for those that are newer to the game and may not know. About silver 2 right, still to this day is what is considered average rank, so being gold 3 is just above average. We're against a Xin Zhao, which is pretty rare, and a Teemo top lane. So the enemy comp, I would say, well, Kassadin obviously is always good. Zyra is a bit peculiar. Zin's a bit peculiar. And Teemo's a bit peculiar. So they've got Caitlyn and Cass, two, I'd say, very played champions in normal League of Legends, like, ranked play. The three champions are quite unique picks that I would imagine that is more, they are players that play those champions or specialize in those champions rather than that, you know, they're not that strong. Where red team, Lilia's team, Udit top lane's a bit funky, but is okay. It's fairly modern. Lilia's a very strong jungler in the right hands. Kled mid, I'd imagine he picked it as a counter pick to Kassadin, if I had to guess. And then obviously, yeah, Jhin and Nami both played relatively a fair amount in bot lane. So starting on blue, had a bit of a leash, but nothing major. It did seem that the Nami didn't help at all, which is a bit weird. He's trying to do obviously the dual leash, and that would have gone a lot smoother if the Nami actually did help at all. But, you know, it's good to time manage jungling, doing multiple camps if you can at all. Some champions obviously are very good at it. Some champions not so good. Make sure, obviously, yes, the camp does die. That's good. The good thing with Lilia, again, her AoE is very strong. The only thing to mention, I will say, if it is correct what I'm seeing, is already both health potions have been used by Lilia. I would say, and you know, I'm not a jungle expert by any means, but I think a little bit more kiting could be happening here to avoid a few more auto attacks from the camps. So potentially like a bit more duck and weaving, especially with Lilia being so strong in that aspect of pressing Q and walking away. You're doing a bit of it, there's no doubt, but just a little bit more, especially on like the blue buff and then the Gromp. Okay, so Zin's invading. Early flash. I don't like the early flash. Early flash, it kind of, when he's right on top of you and you early flash, you just give him the reaction to flash straight after. I would have looked to see if you could have dodged something and then flash after, or at least don't flash in a way that he can just get to, flash like above over a wall, and then there might have been some minions getting away. So the Kled obviously has come over to try and fight. He should potentially still take this fight. Yeah, he should. Oh, and he doesn't get the auto. That is a really big shame, and obviously that is not good for the jungling in this game, because that gives Xin a 2-kill lead over the Lilia, and obviously extends his buff duration. And, you know, Kassadin gets an assist, which you never want to give Kassadin a free lane. He used Ignite the Kassadin, but Kled used both sums with no kill outcome. What I like partially, though, here is obviously it's not gone very well. You're looking to invade. Why? Because you're now technically behind, so what is one thing that you can do is deny, and that actually can help you catch back up, is you deny XP directly from taking his camps, and then you're gaining that, and then also if you go get it on your side, he can't physically catch up that much because of you denying his farm. Now, we did just see in bot lane, unfortunately, Jhin does go down. Let's see if is there any gank potentially on. There is. Honestly, there is a gank on here. Nami opens it, really nice, walks into a trap. Unfortunately, though, that's never going to help. Good bubble. I want you to go back in. Nami gets 1 kill. Can we get the recovery? You can. Nami does go down, but that's okay. Both of the enemy team bot lane go down. That's a bit of a nice recovery for you in the jungle. I like the decision making there. Unfortunate that you got hit by the trap, and that's just maybe being a little bit more aware. Not hugging the corner is what I would say. A lot of the time when a jungler is coming around the corner, Caitlyn will put the trap on the corner, and that's exactly what she did. So sometimes avoiding that to not get CC'd, obviously just going a bit more around, takes a bit longer to get there, but you ultimately are a bit safer not getting hit by the trap, and potentially would have given you both kills. And there's a small chance that if you didn't get hit by trap there, you would have got both double kill and Nami might have even survived. Maybe. It might have been a stretch too far for her to survive, but it would have been close. So Ude is getting pushed in by a Teemo. Again, one of the old things with Teemo is so many people, and I think it's kind of moved on from it, but a lot of people always are like, oh, Teemo's such a big counter to melee champs, and he's really not anymore. As long as you're patient and you engage at the right time, he's realistically not that big of a counter anymore. I love this idea, by the way. Interesting bubble. Didn't really look like it was going to land. Flash early. Keep it going. You might be able to catch this up if you use your lovely movement speed with the Nami into the Q. With an auto, you get the kill. I love that return gank, by the way, because a lot of the time, before like the enemy team gets into the mindset of, oh, we're being camped, you can, as a jungler, get 2, maybe even 3 ganks in before they get into that really like turtle shell mentality of we're being camped. So I really like the return there. Before you even go back, you just do a bit of farming, return, get a kill. It also alleviates pressure from your bot lane because, again, the Jhin died early, so there's obviously something going on there potentially. Kled tower dives. The kassadin is going to die, though. Yep. So he does go down, which trading a kassadin, you know, it's good to kill one, but you realistically don't really want to give him anything because he will murder everything anyway. As you can see, the enemy Xin has done a bit of invading himself, which he should do. And that is a good thing for him to achieve. Especially when, you know, oh, Lilia's bot lane. Oh, wait, Lilia's bot lane again. He's, yeah, going for the counter is nice. One thing is quite nice also for the Lilia is the control over the Scuttle Crab. I think of the first 2, obviously you got 1. And now you're getting the first 1 that's not both of them spawning. So that's nice. That's an advantage. XP-wise, you're at halfway to 6. If I just click on the Xin... Oh, I can't because we don't have vision. It'd be interesting to see what XP is he on. Obviously, the thing that's bad with the Xin, and why the hell does he have a Dark Seal? I don't know. He got a double kill early, and he's not achieved anything since. Now, unfortunately, the Jhin having a bit of a nightmare. He stays, gets caught in bot lane. Not really sure why he got caught down there. But he does. Dragon is being done, though, which I'm always a fan of Dragon. People know this. Why wouldn't you want the free stats of a Dragon? It's literally giving you strength. But the bad news is like that. The Xayah, she gets bursted, which is good. But she was level 6. Kassadin is now here. Oh, this is not good. Can we do a bit of dip diving, dodge, dip diving with that ignite? Double kill for Kled. He's nearly got Scar. He gets Scar back. And with that, you're going to get him and a triple kill for Kled. Very nice play by Kled there. But what I also like from Wahoo with Lilia is you did keep the dragon constantly on your mind. It would have been very easy there to be like, I'm abandoning the dragon, bye. But no, you actually kept, that's what you wanted. That was your objective, and you got the objective. Now, again, the Xin is falling a bit behind. He does that one invade play. He gets you in a kill. He then hasn't done anything since. Obviously, he got the kill from... Oh, wait, is he going... Oh, this poor Xin. I think he's going Nashor's Tooth. I'm not sure if he's going actual AP Xin. He definitely shouldn't be. The funny thing is, right-click champions right now are actually pretty damn strong because a lot of the right-click items and stat items are actually really powerful. Blade of the Ruined King, stuff like that. They are powerful items. So if he doesn't go that centric build, that is really weird to me because, you know, Xin he's a form of Master Yi, you could say. He's slightly different, but it's a form of Master Yi. So it would be very, very peculiar if he doesn't do the... Hell, Xin probably would get away with the tank build that a lot of people are. You know, go the Sunfire build into Blade of the Ruined King. He probably would get away with that and be as effective, really, as... Not as effective, but he'd be effective with that build. Like a Master Yi or a Yasuo or a Yone that do those, or Diana. And he's choosing a much weaker build. So that's another lesson that obviously isn't directly for the Lilia. But one of the core fundamentals, if you want to climb, if you want to be a good league player, you want to, like... do what is best in the situation, and usually that does mean, for me personally, don't do really anything massively gimmicky. There are some exceptions, like people will say, oh, Huz, when you did your rocket belt build on Anivia, exceptions, but those exceptions do make sense. That would, like, back then, last season, before, like, well, when one-shot meta was out of control, what I was doing, I was adapting Anivia to the one-shot meta by doing that build. I wasn't doing the opposite, you know. That's the thing, is you want to build how the game currently is. And like I said, is when those items are so ridiculously strong, it's such a weird thing to not do those items because you're actively doing a build that is actually weaker. That's the weird thing. So gold-wise, going to go back. Obviously, Lilia is a dot champion. She has dot inbuilt in her kit, and she loves Leandries. She loves demonic, synergized very well. You could basically think of Lilia hilariously, and maybe I've never really thought of this before. I've always said new champions a lot of the time feel like newer versions of old champions. Lilia, in some ways, is a new version of Singed because she's dot focused, damage over time. That's a dot. She applies it, and she also does dot items, Leandry, demonic, etc. But she's also incredibly move speed and run centric. That's the thing. So, like, in a really weird way, she is a modern version of Singed. Singed is more basic, there's no doubt, but yeah. Udyr in top lane, by the way, does go down, but does get himself a kill. Xin obviously doing a gank up there. Teemo gets the kill, which does reset any type of gold difference there would be in top lane in terms of if Teemo was 0-3, didn't get that kill, he would be worth, you know, 200, 220 gold for a kill from then on. But now he's got the kill, it resets, so he's back up to being worth 300. Gank potential, early Nami ult. Not sure I like that, but lovely double Q. Good flash. Again, knowing when to use your flash is actually a very big, important skill in League of Legends. Just missing that Q there, but doesn't matter, get the kill. Yeah, knowing when to use your flash is such a big thing in the game because flash is both an offensive and defensive tool. Sometimes you're using defensively to get away, some things like that you're using offensively. And I love that use of Q because, yeah, you could have just walked in, but that Q, why are you here? Teemo? Because Zin's top lane, I guess. That's really weird. Zin goes down to Udyr, but he really wanted that tower, I guess. Teemo then getting ulted by Jhin with the dot, though, and Lilia does get the kill. Rampage Lilia. Really nice play. Not really sure what the Teemo's doing. Okay, now I'm very confused. The Xin build, he is going the tank build, but he built Nashor's foot first on Xin. So he's got the idea correct, but the wrong item. That's so weird. Again, it must be something, because obviously I never see Xin. Maybe some content creator or some known Xin, that's what they do. But as I've always said, just copying exactly what a known player does isn't always the right thing to do. And I know to some people that confuses them and going, but yeah, the best player does it. That means that's the best thing, right? No, it's not. The best player who is really good at that champion, and you know, I don't love to say it, but you're not that player. You know, the average player is not as good as the person that is the best with it, who does a bit of a niche build. They sometimes can do that niche build because they are so mechanically good with that champion, they can get away with a very high risk, weirder build. Most players should just do the standard build that has the most standard form of strength. And that would ultimately, a lot of the time, give you a much higher chance of doing something. So Zyra just goes for an invade there. Nearly dies, by the way, with one just E use of the dot. Lilia does take a lot of damage. Dragon is being done, so that's why I guess Zyra was there trying to block the Lilia from walking forward. But that was also Zyra ult. So yeah, she was very focused on just stopping Lilia walking forward. Which I guess I respect that. It would have been kind of weird if she died, but she didn't. So it's actually not that bad. Trap again. So Xin looking for it. Does end up getting on top of the Lilia with the big ult combo. Lilia walks away, doesn't get far enough from the flash. And they are going to go for the Xin, who... This Xin, he does seem to be kind of the type who is, I'm not really thinking, I'm just seeing, and I'm going on top without thought. So, like, yeah, he got a kill on Lilia, great. But on shutdowns, Lilia wasn't on a shutdown. He had a bonus 400 gold on him. That's a lot of gold to, again, Lilia actually got it. Oh, wait, no, was it the other way around? It might be the other way around. I might be crazy. If it's the other way around, my bad. And if that technically is... If it's technically the other way around, then actually it's not that bad what Xin just did. Because one kill that you get 700 gold from is worth more than giving 300 and then like 100 gold worth of assist. It's not that bad. I think he honestly should just fight the kassadin. If Udyr spent more time fighting that kassadin instead of running away, there might have been a higher chance for him to do something, because he ultimately was just running away without dealing any damage to the kassadin for most of that fight. Bit weird, but anyway. Blue buff being done. Liking the confidence of just walking away. Gank potentially is on. They do have Jhin ult, and sometimes the tool with Jhin is you open the engage with Jhin ult, Oh, so close. And there's the engage with Jin ult. Zyra over the top. Xin straight back to bot lane, by the way. Caitlyn going to go down. Big damage from Lilia. Does get bam the kill. Caitlyn should go down eventually. I'd focus over on the Xin and go help out, to be honest. Because, yeah, okay, so priority. I think you could have abandoned the kill over on the other side a little bit earlier, and that might have saved the life on Jin because Kled was on his way down. Obviously, you need to, like, go, oh, Kled's coming, I'll leave it with him, and there's a bit of trust there. But solo queue, weirdly, is, yes, you should trust yourself and if you want to carry and climb, but there is definitely some trust involved. kassadin already doing a lot of damage. I don't know if you guys saw, but yes, Teemo is here. I'd imagine the Teemo is partially tilted by this point, and Kled goes down because kassadin damage. So that's the biggest threat, I would say, to a red team winning this game, is the kassadin. His damage is obviously insane. His mobility will be high, and he will just kind of one-shot quite a lot of them. You know, Lilia's potential one-shot for a kassadin. Jin, Nami definitely are. The safety net is you've got Kled that has a double health bar, so technically can't get one shot straight away. And Udyr should get quite tanky. Now, Udyr is doing the build that obviously is being quite popular for a lot of other AP champions. So is part of the problem is that the base damage in the game is too high, so that's enabling damage champions to be building tank items because it's not really punishing them otherwise. And that's where you're seeing AD champions, which again Xin technically should be doing, building Blade the Ruined King and a tank item, and that even includes, like, which is weird to me and just shows how strong the build is, Yasuo and Yone, even though they are very crit centric, they are still doing that build because it's so strong. And meanwhile, kassadin is getting a lot of kills, but Caitlyn actually getting them in the end. Lilia on her way through. Can they get any return here? They might be able to. Nice combo there. Ooh, used it a little bit preemptively. But yeah, so, oh, that's nice. Big damage there. Into the ulti. kassadin just waiting in the bush. Don't think anything can come of it. Yeah, good flash to recognize you probably would have died if you didn't there. Unfortunate Nami bubble, and I would just end it. Also know when to end a fight. Does hit that. I don't think he'll die, not yet. It'll be close, but if you had demonic, then he might have died. But yeah, going back to what I was trying to say before is obviously AD champions are going Blade the Ruined King into tank item like Sunfire. Even crit champions are doing it, and that just shows how crazy it is. And on the flip side, it's the same for ability power champions that, yes, they're still building Sunfire or Iceborne or whatever it's called now, and then into demonic, and then into tank. You're literally seeing Diana's building that exact build and full tank and out damaging a lot of champions. It's part of, and again, Riot really doesn't want to admit it. Hell, some players don't even want to admit it, but the base damage in the game is simply too high. It's never gone away. From last season of one-shot meta completely, it's never ultimately gone away because Riot never nerfed the damage. All they did was give everybody a little bit more health and go, ah, that's done. But all they've really been doing in the last 10 patches was kind of getting rid of that, really. The damage has kind of gone up. The tankiness that they've actually given to a lot of things has been taken away. So in reality, we're not back to completely what it was, because before what it was any champion could build tank, even assassins could build tank and still one-shot. That's not true. An assassin has to build damage to one-shot. It's just kind of the middle ground. The bruisers, mainly bruisers kind of champions, are building this hybrid build. They're not one-shotting things, but they're doing so much damage compared to what they should be. Bad positioning there. They're doing so much damage compared to what they should be when they're building nearly full tank, and then they're really tanky. That is kind of the unhealthy ground, and that is literally base damage, because where else are they getting the damage from? They're not building damage items. So unfortunate positioning there. So the game, I will say, is in South Flash. The game itself at the moment is a little bit in a weird area that the enemy team is just starting to group up a little bit, a bit quicker, a little bit more together, and that is ultimately getting your team a little bit of a disadvantage. Not sure why Xin would go in on that. Unfortunate bubbles. Again, some of them are really close, but they're just quite, not quite hitting. Don't walk forward there, Jin. Oh, yeah, that was not great. So again, the enemy team has that mentality of we're going to group a lot early, so this is going to be a hard game to come back with. And, it's especially because there's a kassadin. Kassadin obviously is one of the worst champions to let get any type of lead. I like this, though. So Udyr makes his way over, gets the kassadin. Very low health did you get, but I like the control. You know, you still did the damage which you needed to do and walk away when you know he's dead. Because worst case scenario, yeah, Udyr would have got the kill. It's not the worst thing in the world. Unfortunately, Udyr stays a little bit too much. Does get hit by the E. That's not great. Into then the trap. I'd imagine you probably are going to get that kill on the Zyra unless they use heal. They do, but too late. Ouch. That is an unfortunate situation for the Zyra. She probably would have survived if... and right there, the Caitlyn was standing still. I imagine that was a typing of, like, sorry or something. But yeah, bit of a fiesta match, not going to lie. So farm, apart from in reality, the Udyr is farming well. Teemo has kind of given up with purely laning. He was just bot lane, but he's been, I think, a bit tilted, to be honest, because like we've seen Teemo in bot lane in the early game and stuff like that, which is a bit weird. But yeah, bit of an odd game. I would say both teams at this rate have a decent chance to win because you do have kassadin, who's just a monster, but then you have the Udyr that has that like really big distraction, and I would use that distraction. Obviously, you can't use it if he's just split pushing or he's top lane. But Lilia damage, obviously very impressive herself, has now got obviously the double dot items, has had for a little while. And what I also like is the itemization, weirdly. So itemization, all close. Negatron. So why Negatron? Because you're recognizing the right person who is the scary one. Caitlyn can't one-shot you. Zyra is actually doing more damage than you'd expect. Zin's built a bit of AP. Teemo's also AP. So, and Kassadin is obviously the main one. You're building appropriately. You're building a Negatron. I'm not sure what you're going to exactly build it into, but I like the fact that you are mentally thinking of, I need to survive. Magic resist is my friend here. So, potentially like a Banshee would be good, I would say, for this game. Because like a Banshee can, I think it does. Again, Teemo mushrooms are weird because like weirdly in my mind, I'm like, does a Banshee actually save you from a mushroom? Because a mushroom is both the initial proc and then the dot. There are some abilities that Banshee doesn't really save you much from. It's a bit weird. Nice W hit. Enemy team again, all in the area. And that's what I would expect. I would expect they're not going to be randomly alone. If you just judge off the last 5 minutes, they are grouping more than your team are on average. So respect that and think that's what they're going to do. Jhin ultimate, by the way. Oh, no, it wasn't. I thought I heard Jhin ultimate. I think it was an E. Bit of an... Again, what I don't want, though, is just A-ramming for no reason. So right now it's okay, because Lilia, if you look into her jungle, she's got nothing to farm, but that's just spawned. I don't want Lilia just sitting here, not getting XP, not getting gold. You're also sharing XP, so you're actually getting more behind as a general team. So that's what I wouldn't want, is just constant A-ramming. So Jin's going to go back. No, he's not. And this, again, Kled actually goes over and takes that, so Lilia can't even get it. So this is a bit too much A-ramming for my liking solo queue, personally. So Zyra has been waiting in this bush, I'm honestly, like, lit for, like, a minute or two. She has just been waiting in there for ages. She gets a kill. So is Teemo. Oh, my God. So Zyra and Teemo were just waiting in that bush for over a minute, I would like to say. That's kind of nuts. Not usually something people would do. Big play. That's, again, another huge flash play. Love it. Those are the right times to flash. You do die, but dying for the greater good isn't always the worst thing. Oh, into the trap, into the bubble. Oh, don't tell me they're not going to get any more there. That's so... Oh, there we go. Big Phoenix mode. Does the double ult thingy. And they do end up with a bunch of kills there. And that should be the end. Kled is going to die, though. And Zyra picks up another kill. So, Fiesta massively. But obviously, that was without a Jhin because he gets caught because he didn't think that someone was here. So without in reality, without an AD carry that fight, that wasn't too bad. Again, another good flash. I like the flashes where you're maximizing your Q. That, to me, is a good thing. And dying, you know, you never really want to have a high amount of deaths, but your Q enabled so much more damage than if you didn't do that, that I think the enemy team would have just walked over you if you didn't do it. So, yeah, I honestly see that as a good thing. You're recognizing I can maximize damage here, and that, to me, is great. Oh, are you building a... Oh, okay. I see what you might be doing. Interesting. Is it a gargoyle stone plate? Maybe not. I'm not sure. But, like, stone plate would be interesting to me because I don't know. Someone, if you know this, let me know. Does it affect dot damage? Jhin wasn't massively paid. Oh, that was a weird ulti. Oh, that was really unfortunate. That was odd. So Zin's ult bump over the wall. Big damage coming through. Kassadin just goes straight into Jin's gun. And that actually ended up quite well. Bit of crazy play going on, as obviously we've said. But yeah, that is a 3-4-2. They have to be careful though. He has got the Q. Oh, unfortunate Jin doesn't get it. And that's going to be not good. Udyr is coming because Udyr's been a little bit lost here, has to be said. He has got flash, which is going to be useful. Walking straight into the enemy team. Has got the double R. You're not dead. I don't think the Caitlyn's dead. Is she? Oh, no. I would have made sure the Caitlyn would have died 100% there if I was Udyr, because now he's walking away with absolutely nothing. That's unfortunate. I'd imagine Caitlyn is just basing here for free. Yes, she might be a bit scared that the enemy team have vision, so like she might have even based somewhere weird, but by now I think she's gone. So that's unfortunate. I think Udyr really should have finished off that kill, even if it meant using his flash. He's got flash up. We can see it up there. I think it is a waste that he didn't kill the Caitlyn, but it is what it is. What a crazy game. A lot of vision, as you can see, by the enemy team, but also good clearing it. So anything, again, going over what I usually do is just kind of commentating and then kind of going over things that I think could be better. Good smite. I like that. Honestly, like, not massively. Like, positioning, maximizing your move speed a little bit more, but there's been a lot of good things as well, so it's hard to, like, really pinpoint. Again, timing of the Q, occasionally, I will say, you sometimes do it early, if I had to be really panicky. There have been maybe 3 to 4 times that you've queued a bit early, maybe in excitement. Udyr, though, getting the Zyra. Zit. Oh, you could help that. No. Help him. He's really tanky. Go. Yeah. Again, recognize when you can help. Even if Udyr died there, which he wasn't going to, you can go and help because he is really tanky and that Xin build is low damage. So good that you did eventually go and help. I think you... I guess you probably thought, oh, he's dead straight away, and then realized, oh god, he's not dying. No. Udyr's really tanky. He's also really ahead. He's level 16. So recognize that strength is also a good thing. Recognize on your team who is the strong one. And, you know, I will say, just give props to this Udyr, to be honest. He hasn't really had any ganks. He's against a Teemo, which is not massively hard anymore to beat, but it's annoying, kinda, and he did great. He was also ganked a few times by Xin, but Udyr has come out really strong. Level 16, highest level in the game. 945, doing great. So, yeah. Okay, so it's Force of Nature. Again, I should have known that, but Force of Nature, it's probably not technically a new item nowadays, or, like, returning item, because it was an old one back in the day. But it's weird. I don't play many champions that actually build Force of Nature, so I don't specifically always remember the build specifically. But yeah, that does make sense. What I like about that decision is you're building, as I said, against what you need. There's a lot of magic damage, and it goes with your strength as Lilia of it gives you movement speed. And Lilia obviously is massive into movement speed. The idea with Lilia is with your passive, with your Q, gives you movement speed increasing. You can kind of dance around the fight, constantly hitting Qs, and the enemy team can't really hit you. That's the idea. That's basically her design. Alright, so big play coming up. Udyr's being the massive distraction. Into a lovely, another good Q. Flash Qs have been on point this game. Like, yes, you would have eventually got there. You didn't need to flash, but you're maximizing. Oh, Udyr's being a distraction. Let's try to help him. And I can flash Q, hit all 3 of them at the same time. So that has been a really good point, in my opinion. And yeah, Udyr survives that fight because it's Udyr. I will just say the point. If Xin had Blade the Ruined King, he would have had much a bigger chance of killing the Udyr, obviously. But he chose a really weird build. But yeah, overall really nice. Good team synergy. Baron has been done. And Lilia straight back to going to farm. Again, high priority should be now is level 16. Any type of level 16 for pretty much every character in the game is a huge buff. You also, again, I would like that urgency to be like, we need to end the game. Not because massively I feel your team gets outscaled. It's just the kassadin effect. You know, if you do let a kassadin get to level 16, there's always that risk of him taking over. So I want that urgency of, no, let's group, let's end, let's force plays. And that's what that was. That was Udyr going for a bit of a weird play, but then you all being there ready to go for something and then translate that into a Baron. And now I don't want this Baron to fall flat. I want this Baron to turn into, let's force another fight, let's make something happen and try to end the game. So Kaylin gets killed by a Kled full health. She also used heal, didn't use flash for some reason. And now the grouping can occur in mid. You also even now have number advantage. So there is no excuse to me to not push this advantage of Baron heavily. Ude is doing a bit of funsies. He does get the flash out of Zyra. He's going absolutely ham and cheese, to be honest. And he's so tanky. And this is what a tank champion in modern day can do. And that's the scary thing, I think, to some people of... So there's rumors, or not rumors, but on PB and testing is like, oh, tank meta's coming back. It is scary to me because I like tank meta. I like tank meta when tanks are tanky but don't do damage. Tanks nowadays are doing a lot of damage. That's why things like Rel are not very popular. She's a tank that doesn't do damage. It's why there's a risk that Cassante is just going to fail because he doesn't do damage. A lot of the popular tanks do damage. So that looks like, and this is exactly what I wanted. I wanted the urgency of let's go and make something happen, do something, and win the game. So apparently, I just want to check this because it interests me. Our Xin is at your red. Oh my god, he is! Yeah, so the Xin got a little bit tilted, I guess. But to be honest, and I'm not defending the Xin, he should have been there to try and defend because you never know. But I don't think they could have stopped them with the Baron and the momentum that they had. So anyway, that was not bad. So specifically for Wahoo Vom, obviously got invaded by the Xin, so I'd always say careful of the invades. I think it's, especially in the early, you were a bit lower health than you could have been because you weren't actively kiting the camps very much. You know, by the time you were here, you know, you did blue, and that was partially because Nami didn't help, I do grant you. But you did blue into that, into Gromp, whatever, then towards, you used both health potions by that stage. There definitely could have been a little bit more kiting, a little bit more running around just to avoid like a few extra auto attacks. A few extra auto attacks in the early game is a big deal, and that might have had you at a higher health to not get killed by the Xin. Also, early flashing. I know it's that kind of like just flash instantly. It's that reaction that sometimes you can't think about. I'd like to see if you could have like walked around the red buff a bit and used the red buff as a distraction while he was trying to invade you. And then if that wasn't going too well, then flash. Or at least kind of lure him over a wall, and then you've got the two Krugs that could have been in the way. Instead, you kind of flashed into like an open space, and that just gave him a free flash for you, a free flash to follow. And then yeah, sometimes using Q a bit early, but there's many positives. Good farm, so you're up there in the farm numbers. Very, you know, to be honest, you're beating the Xin a lot of the time. It's just the Xin, I guess, got tilted, and instead of actually helping his team, he's just been farming now the last like a few minutes. Good ganks, good return ganks to bot lane. I really like the flash Qs because that is the aggression and you're maximizing. I can hit all three with my Q right now. I'm going to go for it. And a lot of the time, when you hit all three with your Q, you're also hitting all three with your W. So overall, I think a lot of positives to take from this. So well done. Gold 3 NA. From this performance, again, we only can go, you know, it's hard for me to go, oh yeah, you deserve to climb because it's only one game. But I liked... There was definitely good things in the knowledge there that doesn't scream like, oh, you are just, yeah, you gold 3 player, the end. There were some really good things. Itemization was good. Everything was pretty good. So anyway, that is going to be it. If you guys did enjoy, do throw a like on it, throw a comment, throw a subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Call down the reckoning to bring back hope and peace. Restore our glory to live forever. Bring down the dark regime. I know how to unleash eternal